Hello, my name is Amira and this is my short lesson. Today's lesson will be on the topic of surds. What are surds? A surd is a square rooted number which, once calculated or worked out, would give you the answer, which is an irrational number. For example, instead of getting a whole number, you'll get a decimal number. Let's go through my short list here to figure out which one is a surd and which one isn't. The first one in our list is the square root of 2. This will give us a decimal number, in other words, an irrational number. So this would be classified as a surd. So I will put a tick underneath this to show that it is a surd. The second one in our list is the square root of 4. This will give us a number of 2, which is a whole number, so it won't be classified as a surd. So I'll put a cross underneath to indicate that it's not a surd. The third one in our list is the square root of 8, which will also give us an irrational number, which means that it's a surd. So I'll put a tick underneath it. The fourth one in our list, is the square root of 9, which will give us the answer of 3, which is a whole number, so not a surd. After that, we have the square root of 15, which also gives us an irrational number, so it is a surd. And last but not least, we have the square root of 25, which once calculated would give us the answer of 5, which is a whole number, so in other words, not a surd. I'll put a cross underneath this to indicate that it's not a surd. Next, I will be teaching how to add surds together. When adding a surd, you don't look at the numbers on the inside to add them together, but you look at them to see if they can be added. For example, root 2 and root 2 are the same number, so this equation can be done. But we can't add the two numbers on the inside of the surd. We have to add the numbers on the outside. So for example, this has a 1 on the outside and this also has a 1 on the outside. So we will be adding the 1's together, not the 2's. So the answer that this will give us is 2, and then the number on the inside of the square root is the same as these two numbers here. So that answer would be root 2. So our answer would give us 2 root 2. Next we have root 3 plus root 5. We will look at the numbers on the inside of the square root to see if we can add them together. The numbers on the inside are not the same, so this equation cannot be done. The answer would simply be root 3 plus root 5. Next we have 2 root 5 plus 4 root 5. When you look at the numbers on the inside of the square root, you notice that they're the same, so we know that we can add these two numbers together. We're going to add the numbers on the outside of the square root, which is 2 and 4, so we'll get the answer of 6, and the answer on the inside of the square root stays the same, so that would give us 6 root 5. Next we have root 20 plus root 80. Now usually you won't just be able to add root 20 plus root 80 together just like that because those two numbers are not the same. So we will put them in a form where we do have the numbers on the inside of the square root as the same number. Let's simplify root 20. Root 20 can be simplified into root 4 times root 5, which is 2 root 5. And root 80 can be simplified into root 16 times root 5, which will give us the answer of 4 root 5. Oh, my bad. Once added together, that will give us the answer of 6 root 5. When subtracting surds, you use the same rules as when you add them together. For example, we're going to look at the numbers on the inside of the square root, and we notice that they're both the same number. This means that this equation can be done and we can subtract them from each other. We're going to subtract the number on the outside from each other. So 5 take away 2, we'll get the answer of 3. And again, the number on the inside of the square root will stay the same. So the answer to this equation would be 3 root 3. Again, for this one, we won't be able to subtract root 80 from root 45. Subtract root 45 from root 80. Instead, we'll have to simplify the two numbers into a form where we can subtract them from each other. So, root 80 can be simplified into root 16 times root 5, which is 4 root 5. And root 45 can be simplified into root 9 times root 5, which is 3 root 5. So to subtract these two numbers from each other, we do 4 take away 3, which gives us the answer of 1. And we keep the number on the inside the same, so that will give us the answer of 1 root 5. Root 5 minus root 10 can't be done because the numbers on the inside are not the same, and we can't change them into a form where we do have the numbers on the inside the same, so this will simply remain as root 5 minus root 10. Now I will be teaching how to multiply and divide surds. These have quite the rules are a bit different to subtracting and addition. For example, you can multiply the numbers on the inside of the square root this time. So here we can do root 3 times root 5 will simply be like multiplying 3 and 5 together. So we will get an answer of root 15. Because 3 times 5 is 15. And here we can multiply both the outer numbers and the inner numbers together to get our answer. So here 2 times 3 will give us the answer of 6. And root 6 times 3 will give us the answer of root 18. Now if you wanted to simplify this, you would have to separate root 18 into root 9 times root 2. And knowing that the square root of 9 is 3, we take that out of the square root. So 3 times 6 is 18, so our answer will be 18 root 2. Next, we have root 14 divided by root 7. So again, just like the multiplication, you can use the numbers on the inside. So root 14 divided by root 7 would be the same as, say, 14 divided by 7, which will give us the answer of root 2. And next we have 10 root 6 divided by 5 root 2. So we can divide both the outer numbers and the inside numbers. So we do 10 divided by 5, which will give us 2. And then we do root 6 divided by root 2, which will give us root 3. And that is how to multiply and divide surds. We now have some practice questions of multiplication and addition and division. So the first one asks us root 3 times root 7. This will give us the answer of root 21, because 3 times 7 is 21. Next we have root 24 divided by root 6. 24 divided by 6 will give us the answer of 4. So our answer would be root 4, which when simplified is equals to 2. Next we have root 27 plus root 75. Since we can't add 27 plus 75 straight away because those two numbers are not the same, we can change it to a form that can be added together. Root 27 can be simplified to, let's say, root 9 times root 3. And that will be simplified into 3 root 3. And root 75 can be simplified into the form of root 25 times root 3, and that would be simplified into the form of 5 root 3. So now this is in a form where we can add them together because the numbers on the inside of the square root are the same. So we add 3 plus 5 together, which will give us 8, and keep the numbers on the inside the same. So the answer would be 8 root 3. Next, we have a division question which says 10 root 8 divided by 2 root 2. So we can do 10 divided by 2, because these are the numbers on the outside. So 10 divided by 2 gives us the answer of 5. And then dividing the numbers on the inside, we have root 8 divided by root 2, which will give us the answer of root 4. And that was my tutorial on surds. Thank you.